Un exposé initial est un bref résumé de la preuve que vous anticipez lors du procès, des questions en litige et des témoins que vous allez faire témoigner. Il s'agit d'une introduction au procès et c'est le procureur de la couronne qui débute l'exposé initial. L'avocat de la défense n'est pas tenu de faire un exposé initial. Pour les fins du procès simulé, les deux parties présentent un exposé initial.
L'exposé initial à être présenté au juge devrait cerner autour de la théorie de la cause que l'avocat veut présenter au juge. Grosso modo, c'est l'histoire que l'on veut que le juge retienne de la version de notre client. Et ainsi, on va présenter nos témoins également. Et qui sont-ils? Quelles preuves ils vont apporter au tribunal? Un résumé des faits qu'on s'attend que nos témoins vont présenter au juge pour appuyer notre théorie de la cause. Par la suite, on va présenter notre preuve, ce qui peut comprendre notre preuve documentaire ou n'importe quel autre objectif de preuve que l'on veut que le juge retienne, qui va appuyer encore notre théorie de cause, car l'objectif est toujours de présenter la théorie de notre cause, l'histoire que l'on veut qu'il accepte pour notre client.
Règle générale, pour le dépôt d'une pièce réelle ou documentaire, il faut le faire par l'entremise d'un témoin qui atteste de sa validité. La raison pour laquelle les avocats disent qu'ils anticipent qu'un témoin va dire est que l'avocat ne peut pas parler pour le témoin. La preuve qui sera présentée au tribunal est le témoignage du témoin. Donc, cette preuve doit venir du témoin lui-même ou elle-même et non pas par l'entremise de l'avocat.
All right, and do you wish to make an opening statement?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Bigford, first initial J. Okay, Your Honor, this is a case of mistaken identity. On the evening of March 10, 2010, our client, Donovan Tizzy, was at his local recreation center playing pickup basketball and spoke to the youth leader of the center about post-secondary and scholarship information. He was not in the alley when Mr. Williams was assaulted and robbed. Our client, Mr. Tizzy, is a 16-year-old youth in grade 10. While he was convicted of shoplifting 18 months ago, he has put his life in order and is on the right path. Mr. Tizzy has a part-time job. He is doing well in school. He is looking into going to college for technology and applying for scholarships. He also goes to the homework club and plays basketball 3 times a week at his local recreation center. It is anticipated that Mr. Tizzy will say he wouldn't assault and rob another youth and jeopardize his future. Today you will hear from 2 defense witnesses, Donovan Tizzy and Stephen Wong. We anticipate that Mr. Tizzy will describe that on the night in question, at about 6:00 p.m., he and his friend, Dwayne Dirks, left his apartment because he was upset about not being able to buy a new pair of basketball shoes. When prompted by his friend to steal the shoes from a store, Mr. Tizzy declined because he didn't want to jeopardize his part-time job and decided to do something constructive by spending the evening playing basketball at the local recreation center. We will also hear from Mr. Tizzy that during the evening he spoke to the youth leader of the recreation center about different college courses and scholarships. And at about 8:30 p.m., he left the recreation center by himself and walked straight home. Finally, Mr. Tizzy will describe to the court that about a month later, a police officer knocked on his apartment door and told him he was under arrest for assault causing bodily harm and robbery. The officer then picked up a pair of basketball shoes outside of Mr. Tizzy's apartment building and not inside his actual dwelling, and didn't bother to ask Mr. Tizzy about them. We anticipate that Mr. Tizzy will say he had never seen the shoes before. Our second witness, Stephen Wong, will explain that on the night in question, he was working at the recreation center and spoke to Mr. Tizzy about information on college courses and scholarships. We anticipate that Mr. Wong will describe how Mr. Tizzy's mannerism was during their discussion. We will also hear from Mr. Wong about his relationship with Mr. Tizzy and how often he sees him at the recreation center. We also anticipate that Mr. Wong will say that Mr. Tizzy has never displayed violent activity at the recreation center. Mr. Wong will also explain to the courts his particular role at the center.
All right, thank you.
The defense will now call its first witness, Mr. Tizzy, to the stand.